February 21st, 2025, $1.5 billion vanishes from a crypto exchange. One click. Ben Zhou built one of the largest crypto exchanges on Earth. He sits down to approve a routine transfer, move Ether from the cold wallet to the warm wallet, keep 60 million users liquid. He's done it hundreds of times. He checks the URL, checks the destination address, signs. Two other executives sign with him. 3 keys, 3 approvals, standard protocol. The transaction executes. It doesn't arrive where they think. 401,000 Ether routes to an address no one at Bybit controls. No one at any exchange controls. An address that has never appeared on any ledger, anywhere, until this moment. The vault is empty. The CEO emptied it himself. Not because he was careless, because every single thing on his screen was a lie. Largest single theft in recorded history, larger than every bank robbery combined. So, how do you trick one of the most security-conscious companies on the planet into opening the vault for you? That's the crime scene. $1.5 billion gone in a single transaction. The signal starts here. It leads to somewhere no one expected. To understand how the money disappeared, you need to see why it shouldn't have been possible in the first place. Bybit kept $1.5 billion in a multi-sig cold wallet. Forget the jargon. Picture a bank vault, underground, disconnected from the internet, sealed behind reinforced steel. 3 keys, held by 3 separate executives. All 3 turn at the same time or the door stays shut. That's a multi-sig. Multiple humans have to agree before a single dollar moves. Safe is the software that manages those signatures. It's the most trusted wallet in crypto, managing tens of billions in combined assets across the industry. Offline vault, 3 keys, industry standard interface. But all 3 key holders relied on one thing: the same screen. The attackers never touched the vault, never copied the keys, never cracked the lock. They rewrote what the screen displayed. So the real question has nothing to do with breaking security. The security held. The question is, how do you poison the one screen 3 executives trust with their lives? Now, we trace the crack. Because it didn't start inside Bybit. It started somewhere else entirely. The attackers didn't go after Bybit. Not at first. They went after the company that built the control panel. A team of developers maintains Safe Wallet. One of those developers had a laptop. On it, login credentials for Safe's cloud servers. The keys to the factory. Signia and Verichains, 2 forensic firms Bybit hired after the hack, traced everything back to that machine. The attackers broke into it. The exact method hasn't been disclosed. What matters? They got in. Once inside, they had a direct path to Safe's servers. Think of it this way. They didn't break into the bank. They broke into the home of the engineer who built the bank's security cameras, rewired the cameras at the factory to show a fake feed, shipped them to the bank, installed without question. That's a supply chain attack. You skip the target entirely and compromise the tools the target trusts. From Safe's servers, the attackers injected malicious JavaScript, the code that powers a website's interactive features, into the front end of app.safe.global. This is the website Bybit's signers used, the legitimate website, serving poisoned code underneath. But the code didn't activate for everyone. Millions used Safe daily. None saw anything wrong. The weapon hasn't fired because this code was built to wait for one specific target. It found one. The code hiding inside Safe's front end wasn't a blunt instrument. It was a scalpel. Every time someone loaded the Safe website, the hidden script ran a checklist in the background. Is this wallet address one of Bybit's cold wallets? Is the transaction above a certain threshold? Are the right signers present? Miss any condition? Nothing happens. The code stays invisible. But on February 21st at 12:30 p.m. UTC, every condition returned yes. The code activated. On the signers' screens, including Ben Zhou's, everything looked right. A routine transfer, cold wallet to warm wallet, real URL, real layout, real numbers. Underneath, the code had rewritten everything. The signers weren't approving a transfer. They were approving a wallet upgrade, a command that swapped the vault's internal rules for a new set. In plain language, the signers handed the attacker permission to rewrite who controls the vault. Under the new rules, everything inside belongs to the attacker. All three saw the same fabricated screen. All three approved the same disguised command. The system did exactly what it was designed to do. It obeyed three valid signatures. The signatures were real. The intent behind them was manufactured. The attackers planned for the aftermath. Within 2 minutes, they uploaded clean code to Safe's servers. The malicious script vanished. The crime scene was scrubbed before anyone knew a crime had happened. $1.5 billion. Drained through a door the owners opened themselves. So the question shifts, not how anymore. Who? An attack tested on-chain 2 days in advance, dormant inside a third party's infrastructure, triggered by surgical conditions, self-erasing in 2 minutes. That level of patience, that level of precision. That doesn't come from a criminal syndicate. Only a handful of actors on Earth operate at this level. And the wallet addresses where the stolen funds landed had been seen before. The weapon fired, the vault drained, the code erased itself. Every step traced, from a developer's laptop to a CEO's screen. But one zone on the map is still dark. The signal points east, within 48 hours of the theft, before any government said a word. A blockchain investigator named Zach XBT published a thread. He'd followed the stolen funds through a web of wallet addresses. Those addresses overlapped with wallets from previous hacks, all linked to the same group. Elliptic confirmed it. TRM Labs confirmed it. 5 days after the hack, the FBI made it official. One paragraph, no hedging. North Korea was responsible. The Bureau assigned a code name, Traitor. Not a criminal syndicate, a military operation run by the Reconnaissance General Bureau, North Korea's top intelligence agency. Same chain of command that oversees the nuclear weapons program. The precision of the Bybit attack now had a context. This was Lazarus Group, North Korea's most prolific cyber unit, active since 2009. Since 2017, North Korea-linked hackers have stolen over $6 billion in cryptocurrency. A United Nations report tied that money directly to the country's ballistic missile program. Lazarus doesn't steal crypto to get rich. It steals crypto to keep a nuclear state running. So the Bybit hack wasn't a heist. It was a procurement operation. And the moment the $1.5 billion left Bybit's wallet, a second operation kicked in, designed to make sure no one could ever get it back. $1.5 billion doesn't land in a Pyongyang bank account. It has to be washed, fast, across every chain, through every crack in the system. Lazarus had a 2-hour head start. The stolen ether hit the attacker's wallet at 12:30 p.m. By 12:35, Lazarus was already converting it. Anything an issuer could freeze, swapped for raw ETH on decentralized exchanges within minutes. No middleman to call, no phone number to dial. By 2:30 p.m., 2 hours in, $1.5 billion sat in 50 separate wallets, roughly $300 million per wallet. Over 9 days, Lazarus emptied those wallets one by one, funneled millions through EXGH, a centralized exchange that allowed anonymous swaps. Bybit asked EXGH to freeze the funds. EXGH refused. Tens of millions passed through. EXGH collected hundreds of thousands in fees. Most of the stolen ether converted to Bitcoin. Then the Bitcoin went into mixers. A mixer works like this. You steal a gold bar stamped with a serial number. You can't sell it. Every dealer checks. But you melt it down, pour it into a vat with 1,000 other people's gold, stir, and recast it into new bars with fresh serial numbers. The trail dies in the vat. That's Crypto Mixer. That's Wasabi Wallet. Bitcoin goes in dirty, comes out clean, vanishes into the global system. Elliptic tracked the flow in real time. Some funds were frozen. Some exchanges cooperated. The FBI published 51 Ethereum addresses and asked the entire industry to block them. But Lazarus moved faster. The Bybit hack wasn't a one-off. North Korea didn't stumble into $1.5 billion and improvise. They have infrastructure for this. dedicated laundering teams, bridge routes refined across dozens of heists over nearly a decade. North Korea built a parallel financial system, a country under the heaviest sanctions on Earth, funding itself through a channel no embargo can touch: code, wallets, mixers. The Bybit hack wasn't an anomaly. It was the largest single deposit into an account that's been open for years. So the question isn't whether the money comes back. Most of it won't. The question is whether the flaw that made this possible can be fixed. The money is scattering. Some will be caught, most won't. But the heist is over. What it exposed is bigger than one exchange or one CEO. It exposed a vulnerability that exists in every wallet on every exchange right now. Strip the geopolitics away. Strip away North Korea, the missiles, the $6 billion. Reduce this hack to its mechanical core. 3 executives looked at a screen. The screen showed them one thing. The blockchain received another. They had no way to tell the difference. Ben Zhou didn't wander into crypto last year. 14 years in financial markets, billions in daily volume under his management. He did exactly what every signer in the industry does. Checked the URL, checked the destination on screen. He's said publicly he looked, but not carefully enough. But the URL was real. The interface was real. The code was invisible. No amount of scrutiny, from Zhou, from his co-signers, from anyone, catches a pixel-perfect lie delivered by the authentic website they were trained to trust. If a man with 14 years in financial markets, running a platform that processes billions daily, can't see through this, no one can. Picture it. You're the CEO. You've done this transfer 100 times. The screen looks identical to every other time. The URL matches. The address matches. Your 2 colleagues look at their screens and see the same thing. Nothing tells you the display is lying. You sign. The interface was the single point of trust. No one verified whether it was telling the truth. 30 minutes after detection, Ben Zhou went live. Not a press release, not a lawyer's statement, a live stream. 60 million users watching. 3 claims. The hack was real, customer funds were safe, Bybit could cover the loss. That last claim seemed impossible. $1.5 billion had just walked out the door. But Bybit moved fast. Reserves back to 1-to-1 within 72 hours. Withdrawals never paused. The exchange survived because it had something most crypto companies don't: reserves deep enough to absorb a $1 billion hit and keep operating. So, they compromised a developer's laptop at Safe Wallet. From that laptop, they reached Safe's cloud servers. From those servers, they injected a hidden script into the website's code, the same website Bybit's executives used to manage $1.5 billion. The script waited. It checked conditions. When Bybit's cold wallet, Bybit's threshold, and Bybit's signers all aligned, it activated. It showed the CEO a routine transfer. It fed the blockchain a command that handed the vault to the attacker. 3 executives signed what they saw. The vault opened. 401,000 Ether moved to an address controlled by North Korea's Lazarus Group. Within 2 minutes, the script erased itself. Within 2 hours, the money split across 50 wallets. Within 9 days, most of it melted through mixers and recast into untraceable Bitcoin, feeding a weapons program no sanction on Earth can reach. 1 laptop, 1 screen, $1.5 billion. The next Lazarus operation is already being planned. The only question is, which screen will lie next?